Hello, everyone. How are you? Today is Saturday, April 29th. It's actually a really random time. It is 4:21 p.m. This is a surprise live. This is a surprise Saturday live. I don't typically go live on Saturdays, but I wanted to jump on here. I had like a series of events that just lined up perfectly so that I was able to come on here and hang out with you guys for a little bit. And I'll tell you what those events are. For those of you who may not know me, or if this is your first live with me, hello, my name is Melinda Hart. I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin Up. And this is my page, Stamping with Heart, H-A-R-T. So you can find more information about the projects that I create and things like that on my blog. And I'll pop that up here. Just looking to find it over the screen. Let's see if I can switch that. Good. Okay, so you can find more information about the projects that I create on my blog at www.stampingwithhart.blogspot.com. I did get all of the information and everything posted on my blog from Thursday's live. Today is a little bit of I don't have a project created. I just wanted to jump on here. I do have some products sitting on my table. Let me see if I can show you. Yes, so I do have some projects or some products sitting on my table here. I'm seeing a comment. Hi, Joan. Happy Saturday. Like I was just saying, Joan, I just hopped on here randomly. I was really hoping that I was going to be able to get on here for kind of a surprise live at some point on the weekend. And I was actually supposed to be down in Pittsburgh today. I was supposed to be helping a family member, and she asked me not to come. She's not feeling well. So that was one thing that happened. And then both Connor and Patrick were up very early today, and they both fell asleep. So I don't know if you ever have those days where everything just sort of lines up and it's quiet and it's calm and everybody's relaxed. And I was like, this is the perfect time to go live while everybody's taking a nap. So I'm getting a little me time in. Hopefully you guys are getting a little you time in. So there are a few things that I wanted to go over and talk about. So I think what I'm going to try to do is just do a card in Moody Mauve today, because that is the first color in the new in colors that I will be doing in my in color club. So I'm talking a little bit more than normal about upcoming events that I have. Oh, thank you, Joan. She shared the video. That's so sweet. I'm talking a little bit more about upcoming events that I have going on than normal because I have a very narrow window of time to tell you about them. Typically, I have registration open for over a week. And this time around, I can only have it open for 6 days. So as of right now, April 29th, we only have 3 days left to register for either in color club, paper share, or if that's something that interests both of you or both events interest you. Both events are open but are closing for registration on May 1st so that I can place the order on May 2nd, which is launch day for our new catalog. And I'll be talking a little bit more about that. But what I'm going to do is just talk for just a few minutes about the event or the upcoming events, just to tell you a little bit about them. And then we'll make a simple card here and I'll bring it down to the table. So before I jump into the In Color Club, this is the color. So Moody Mauve is going to be one of the 5 new 2023-2025 in colors. And it was clearly my favorite. So I was like, let's start with a new favorite. So I don't have all of the products to show you that will be part of the club. I did place that order for just for myself, just the demonstrators. We can order. We have a very limited thing that we can order, just one of each. So things that you're going to be getting in the club, like the refill, the blends, things like that. I ordered that, but it still hasn't shipped yet. So I'm a little behind. I had split my order and I had some of it, but not all of it. So I'll go over it with you on the paper. I just don't have everything to show you on the table. But this is the ink pad. This is the color. of the ink pad here. And this is from Cheerful Daisies, which is going to be the featured bundle for the class that is included with the May in Color Club. And then this, let me see if I can get you guys the right name for this. This is the 2023-2025 in Color Dots. And here they are in Moody Mauve. So each section has 30 dots. So this will be part of the In Color Club as well. And then this is the Moody Mauve cardstock. So I was happy I was at least able to show you this. Let's see if I can point it at the table so that you guys can get a good look at it. And then if we can make a simple card, I don't have anything planned, but we'll just do something nice and easy, just so that we can kind of play with the product a little bit and talk about it a little bit. So if this is something that interests you, I just want to let you know right out of the gate, I'm going to be talking about a couple of the details for In Color Club and paper share. And then this is the new catalog. I can't open it yet. And I could probably put it down on the table. You guys can probably see it better down here. I try to get it off of the table as quickly as possible, so I'm not tempted to open it, because we can't open it and share it with you until May 2nd. And I will be doing a catalog walkthrough on Tuesday, May 2nd at noon. So that'll be good. That'll be a good time. I always love going through the catalog myself, and when I can actually share it with all of you. So we're also excited for launch day. I'm going to put that over here so that I'm not tempted. Okay. And then let me go ahead and just share some of the details here. And if you happen to be coming on live or in the replay, I would love to hear from you. Just be sure to say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. And we'll go ahead and get into these details here. Oh, and I have to say, okay, so if you guys were watching my live the other day, I made a mistake with one of my cards. This was my paper weaving card, and I put glue all over the front of it. You guys have given me the best suggestions as to how to fix it. So much so that I actually want to post the comments. I'll have to like shade out the last names, or shade out the name. I want people to get credit if they want their post to be seen, but you guys had left me the best comments on the YouTube video and here on Facebook. So I will see if I can collect those up and share those ideas with you, because you guys had the best solutions for the mistake that I made. So thank you for that too. All right, so let me go ahead and share this. And then I'll just put myself down in the corner here just for a minute. Okay, so this is the first thing I'm going to go over is our In Color Club. So every year with our new annual catalog launch, Stampin' Up comes out with 5 in colors. So they're going to be called the 2023-2025 In Color Collection. And the 5 colors are Moody Mauve, Pebbled Path, Copper Clay, Boho Blue, and Wild Wheat. And this order of the color is actually the order that I will be doing the colors for the club. I will be opening up registration each month for In Color Club. And that's so that people can come in and out. If you want to collect all 5 colors, I have incentives for that. But if you only want to collect 1 or 2 and you like a certain color, if you want to register just for that month, you could do that too. I was really trying to figure out a way that this worked better for everybody. And that was just a learning experience from how I did things last year. So that is what I'm going to do. So each month, that's going to be the order that the colors are shown, or the way that we're going to collect our colors this year. We're going to start with Moody Mauve. So if you register for May In Color Club, all of the products listed are going to be in Moody Mauve. Okay. So let's see if I can make this full screen here, and if I can go over this with you. Okay, so if you are interested, like I said, registration opened on April 26th. It's going to close on Monday, which is May 1st, 2023. I'm going to submit the order on May 2nd. And then once I get the products here and I could package everything up and get the class ready, I will plan, as long as everything goes the way it's supposed to, I will plan to ship this out by the end of the month. And if there are any unexpected delays or if something goes on back order or something like that, I'll reach out and let you know. I'll let the registrants know. But hopefully, because we're getting that order in on launch day, we will not run into any problems like that. So that is the hope. But here, let me just go over what In Color Club is. So the price for In Color Club is $65 per month, and it includes shipping. It includes the following products, and it also includes a class. So you would get the classic Stampin' Pad, you would get the ink refill, the full cardstock pack, the 8.5 by 11 pack, just in Moody Mauve cardstock. You would get the combo of the Stampin' Blends. There's usually like a light and a dark of that color. So we'll get that color in Moody Mauve. We'll get that combo pack. You're going to get a spool of the textured ribbon in Moody Mauve. You're going to get a spool of the, I think I'm saying this right, jute trim. I'm not sure if I'm not saying that right. Somebody let me know. And then 30 of the In Color dots, 1/5 of a pack. So I have that on the table and I can go over that too. I'm going to have 4 card kits as part of In Color Club each month. And that is so that you can start to use that new color and those new products right away. So they're going to be pre-cut and pre-scored. You will do the stamping, the gluing and the assembly of your cards. I will do the die cutting if there's die cutting involved, and I'll have like the little bits of DSP as part of your card, and it will be cut and scored. And I do include envelopes as part of the card kit. So there will be 4 of those. There will be an exclusive pre-recorded video tutorial for the cards, and you could just watch that at your convenience. And there will be a PDF tutorial as part of that class as well. And the PDF is where usually the measurements are, instructions and like pictures of the cards that we're going to be making along with the kits. So the PDF and the video are emailed when your package is shipped. I use USPS. Have a tracking number on your package when it goes out, and that video and PDF get emailed the same day with that tracking number. So if you guys have any questions about that, just let me know. But it would be $65 per month. So the bonuses are, if you were to sign up for 3 consecutive months, let's say you sign up in May, you start in May, you get May, June, and July, you'll get a full pack of the 2023-2025 In Color DSP in your month 3 package. But if you were to start signing up in June, but you do June, July, and August, then it would be in your August package, and so on. If you do all 5 months of In Color Club, so if you do all 5 colors, all 5 of the clubs with me, you will actually get the In Color Stampin' Right marker pack. So all 5, let's try that again, all 5 Stampin' Right markers in the 2023-2025 in colors as a gift. And that would be in your month 5 package for doing all 5 months of club. So doing all 5 months of the club is optional. You can just do 1, you could do 2, you could do however you want. But if you do 3 in a row, you would get the DSP, the full pack. So all 5 colors of that DSP. And then if you do all 5 months of club, you'll get the In Color markers, the 2023-2025 In Color Stampin' Right markers. Okay, so if you guys have any questions about that, let me know. Let me stop that share. And let me just pop back over here. Okay, so that is In Color Club. And like I said, I do have some In Color items here on the table. So we'll be going over that, and we'll be making a simple card. And I did want to mention, for those of you who are interested in the card kits, I will be using the Cheerful Daisies Bundle. This is a bundle that will be launching on May 2nd with the new catalog as well. The DSP has all of our In Colors, the new In Colors, as part of that paper pack. So that's what we're going to be playing with today. And I will be playing with that as part of these 4 card kits as well. So I'm not going to show the design of the 4 cards publicly, but you'll at least have a sense, an idea of what those cards are going to look like. Okay, so that's that part of it. And then the other thing that I wanted to share is the paper share. So I'm doing 2 separate events as part of this new catalog launch. And just depending on where your heart lies, if you want to collect all those new in colors, or if you love the designer series paper, which so many of us do, love, love, love collecting the pretty papers, I am going to be doing a paper share. So the paper share is 13 packs of designer series paper from the new 2023-2024 annual catalog. So this is the annual catalog paper share. And it would be 12, but I am adding the in color, the brand new in color DSP as part of my paper share as well. I wanted to have it as an option in both places. So I did decide to add that one. Any of the other color collections won't be included, but because the brand new in colors are new, I did want to include that one. So I'll go over everything that you would get in the paper share. And the paper share is just structured a little bit different because there are options. There's 2 options. So we'll go over that, but great themes. Great. I mean, I think you guys are really going to love it. This is a really great catalog. There's already been a lot of excitement around it. If you have been shopping with me, you should have already received your catalog. If for whatever reason you haven't gotten it, please reach out to me and I can try to send you a replacement, get you a replacement catalog so that we can get that to you so that you can be excited about it too. But let me go ahead and show you the paper share details. So let's see if I can share this just one more time. Okay. All right. So here, let me just make sure you guys can see that. Yes. All right. So here is, and I'm going to make this full screen. Hopefully that'll be easier. Okay. So the way that this works, so for all of the details kind of up here in the picture, the 13 new designer series paper packs, it's going to be 1/4 of a pack for the share. You're going to get a 1/4 pack. It's going to be cut to 6x6 size. And then you have an option to add on a class for the paper share. So you could either do the share only option. And if you do the paper share only option, it's $60 and includes shipping. And that means you're going to get all 13 of those 1/4 packs, 6x6 size of the new designer series papers. If you are interested in having a class to kind of get using those papers right away, you could do the second option, which is the paper share plus the class and card kits. And if you do the add-on class, it's $85 and includes shipping. So that means you're going to get the 13, the DSP packs, the 1/4 packs in the 6x6 size. And you're going to get 4 card kits. You're going to get the pre-recorded video for the video tutorial for those cards. And you're also going to get the PDF that will have the measurements and the instructions and the photos of the cards to go along with that share. So cards, just with the thought in mind of getting a chance to use those new designer series papers. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And those are the options that you can choose. And I have to say, so far, it's been pretty even. I've had some just sign up for the share, and I've had some definitely get the add-on as well. So definitely up to you. But I'm glad that I have the option available. So here are the paper packs that you would be getting as part of the share. And I just want to make sure, I don't know if you can see the list of the papers. Let me see if I can add this again. I'm going to share again. And let's see if it will let me. It's not scrolling for you guys. So let me see if I can fix this. Hang on. We're going to share it one more time. I think I might know what the problem is. I think it might be stuck. Looks like my Wi-Fi is being very slow. Okay, well, I can't show you the full list, but let me name them off for you at least. So let me give you an idea of what those papers are going to be. So if I stop sharing, let me see if I can just, I'm going to try this one more time. And if it doesn't work, we'll, but let me see if I can. It looks like it's coming back. So, okay. Hopefully, I'm hoping, if you can't, I'm just going to read them off. But you would receive a quarter pack of the following designer series papers: Bright and Beautiful, Countryside Inn, Delightfully Eclectic, Earthen Elegance, Fresh as a Daisy, which I've already had the chance to work with, Glorious Gingham, Inked Botanicals, Let's Go Fishing. I'm so excited about that one. Les Shops DSP, the Masterfully Made, Stargazing, which is stunning, Zoo Crew, and then a quarter pack of that 2023-2025 in color designer series paper pack, which it's on its way to me, but it's not here yet. So I'm sorry I couldn't show it. But let's see. Oh yeah, good. Hopefully you saw that list. Okay, great. So I can go ahead and stop this share now. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, and then we're back to me. So let's see, just Patricia. Patricia says, if I want the in color option, I would have to order the Daisy DSP. So I am going to, for the card kits that I designed that will have the Daisy, you're going to get that piece as part of the card kit. So for example, like I said, I can't show the design cards, but let's just say there was a piece that was like 4 by 5¼ inch that I designed as part of my In Color Club card. That particular piece of DSP would be in your card kit. It wouldn't be the full pack of papers. If you get paper share, it would be 1/4 pack of the Daisy DSP, Fresh as a Daisy. But for the In Color Club, I would just be including those pieces that I used on the cards that I designed. And then if I have die cut daisies, which I will have die cut daisies on those cards, then you would actually get the die cut daisies. All you would do is the stamping. And so if you want to use the Cheerful Daisy stamp set, you can do that. If you have a different stamp set that you would like to use with the cards that I have in that class, you're welcome to do that too. But I'll include the pre-cut pieces. I just can't do the stamping for you. It's a Stampin' Up policy and it's a good one. So you'll do the stamping, the gluing, and the assembly of your cards. But I'll have a video class and a PDF. If you would want more than what's on the actual card, then I would recommend ordering the Fresh as a Daisy DSP if it's the In Color Club option that you're doing. I'm definitely going to be incorporating some pieces from Fresh as a Daisy into my class. But that's all I can say. So there's going to be a couple of pieces in there that you would use to glue onto your card front. But if you're loving that designer series paper, or you're going to use it with your In Color Club products over the 5 months, then yeah, you would definitely want to get a pack of that. I won't have it included like with each month of the club. I decided not to do that this year just because I was trying to problem solve some things that had happened last year where I was splitting up everything, and that was getting really difficult to do. So this way, for people who do the club 3 months in a row, you'll get the In Color DSP, just a full pack of it. I don't have to worry about breaking it up over the 5 months. But if you take 3 months in a row, you'll get that full pack of the In Color DSP. Okay, so yes, and hopefully that answers your question, Patricia. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. For those of you who are looking for the information, you can reach out to me. You can either direct message me on Facebook or Instagram, and I can send you the link. Or if you're on my email list, the registration links have already been sent. If you sign up for my email list, I will be sending emails about it leading up to May 1st. So you'll get the information that way as well. But if you want the information, I'd be happy to send it to you. You can email me, and I'll put up my email address. So you can email me here and just say, can you send me information for In Color Club or for the paper share if you're interested in either of those things? And I'll be happy to email it over to you, and you can click the link to learn more about what you would get depending on if you register for one, the other, or both. Okay. All right. Oh, she says thanks. You're welcome, Patricia. Okay, so let's go down to the table and let's just make, a quick and easy card together. Just kind of go through some of these products. So let me see if, did I lose I might have. Hang on, you guys. Let's see. Yep. Okay. Well, you know what? We'll get back on here. Hang on just one second. So I lost I set up my phone. I lost my camera. So just give me 1 second and we'll get back into this. Always a technical thing with me, right? It's always something, but we'll figure it out. I'll get this all set. So let's see. You guys are still seeing me, right? So let me go here. If anybody has ever been on a Zoom, this is very similar to the way that Zoom works, where I just have to set up a second camera and then bring it into the video. So let's do that. And hopefully this will work. And hopefully that will, all right, hopefully you can see that. And I'm going to switch it to the table now. Okay, so thank you for bearing with me with that. All right, so here's what we're looking at today. These are all 5 of the In colors, but we're going to be focusing on Moody Mauve today. So let me just get this one out. If you're interested in the Cheerful Daisies Bundle, this is a fabulous stamp set. This is a 2-stepper where you can do either just really simple cut out or stamped daisies, or you could do more detailed daisies, just depending on if you want to do the builder with the stamps. But this is a great combination with good, sentiments as well. You made my day. Oops, the daisy. So sorry. Wishing you the brightest birthday. Your friendship means everything. I just used the 2 of these on a completely separate project, but I really love the font and all of that with this. So it also has a really nice set of dies to go along with it, where you can either combine the stamped daisies and cut them out with the dies, or you can completely build dies just with the die cuts. So it's a really nice set to work with. I do have a video that I did work with this, and I made some cards, but all of those cards went out with my catalogs to customers. So I don't have those to show anymore, but you can find the video on YouTube. And I think it's the Fresh as a Daisy suite that I was using. So here is our Moody Mauve. This is the 8.5 by 11 size cardstock here. It's funny because I have so much stuff in mauve and rose gold just in my life regularly. I was so thrilled when I saw this color. I don't know how you guys are feeling about it. But what I've been doing is making 2 card bases from 1 piece of cardstock. This is something that I do all the time. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to score at the 5.5 inch mark. So let's score it first. And then I'm going to cut at the 4 1/4 mark. I've been doing a lot of my new cards, particularly my new card stock. I can't believe I just marked up this DSP in this size. I've just been liking this card layout lately. And so that gives us 2 card bases. So 4¼ by 11, scored at 5½. And then we have our card bases. And I'm going to get that Fresh as a Daisy designer series paper out. I have been digging into mine. I have been using it. And I have Post-its everywhere. So just don't mind me. So just in case you haven't seen this, let me just show this to you. So this is the in color. You can see the in colors peeking through this designer series paper. It's really beautiful. This is copper clay that's in the background here with these flowers. And then on the other side, it's kind of more of a solid color, which is really nice for layering. And then this one, I'm going to set aside because we're going to use this piece actually. I don't know what you guys think of this, but I actually really loved the way that this looked. This is a combination of the Moody Mauve along with that new Wild Wheat. So that's 2 in colors that we have there. And I'm going to kind of hang on to this one. This was one of my favorite pieces. I thought this was so stunning. And here you can see a little bit of that pebbled path going on, those darker details with those daisies. And then this is the pebbled path sort of solid side here. So if you are more interested in the paper share, you would be getting a 1/4 pack of this in the 6x6 size. There is that copper clay color. I love these. I love those. I made a card actually. I am not sure what is going on with my Wi-Fi today, you guys. I'm so sorry about that. But this is the Moody Mauve solid, and then this is more of like sampler pieces here for those of you who like to do project sheets, things like that. Okay. It might be because it's the weekend and everybody's on their Wi-Fi. Maybe that's it. Okay, and then here, I just thought that these daisies really stood out against the darker background. So again, we're seeing Wild Wheat and we're seeing that pebbled path in there. And then the other side, look at how beautiful that is. That I think that's a combination of boho blue and just touches of the Azure Afternoon right here. This is what Azure Afternoon looks like. I was just using this. This is one of the brand new colors. But I think just right around these edges where it's a little bit brighter, that's what we're seeing. This part here, the more muted blue, is boho blue. When I look at boho blue, I personally think it looks like a colonial blue to me. I don't know what you guys think if you happen to have it yet. But if you don't, we're going to start collecting those colors within Color Club. So this is what that sampler piece looks like when you're looking at the full piece. And then the other side is Moody Mauve, just depending on what you would want to see there. But oh my gosh, I love all of the designs. You could cut this up and use these as layering pieces on your cards. If you're doing the full by the 12 by 12 full pack, like Patricia was asking, should I pick up the daisy paper? If you would get that in the 12 by 12 size, then you would cut this out. If you were getting this as part of the paper share, it would be cut into 4, just because that's the way I have to cut the paper for the share. Okay, so we're going to use this piece here. And I wanted to get a piece of the Wild Wheat. So let's see if we can get the Wild Wheat. And then I think I have, oh, you know what? I don't see it here with my designer series paper piece. You know what? That's okay. I probably used it on something. I've been using all of the new stuff. I've been having so much fun with it too. So let's use the cardstock if we don't have. This is what the Wild Wheat looks like in the cardstock. And one of the things that I do like to do with my classes is give sneak peeks of future colors so that you can get a look at it with your own eyes. It makes such a difference when you can see. But we're just going to do a basic card layout. And then I thought that we could also do a little piece of basic white as a layer if I have it over here. If I don't, I can grab some. It's right here in the room with me. I thought I grabbed the basic white when I was live on Thursday, but let me just go ahead and grab that real quick. Okay, so just to have a couple of extra pieces on hand here. So for our first piece, I think what I'm going to do is let's cut the basic white layer first. And I'm going to cut this to 4 1/8. So we'll just get that thin border. And then we'll go to 5 1/4, 5 3/8. For our first piece. Let's see if I cut that right. Sometimes when I'm cutting, I'm like, am I cutting the right size? Okay, and that is giving us a really thin border for our Moody Mauve, but you will get to see the Moody Mauve on the inside of the card. You're going to get to see accents of it on the outside, so I'm okay with covering that. All right, and then let's cut this piece to 4. Okay. And then let's do 2 1/2. Let me start with, yeah, I'm going to stick to 2 1/2. Let's start there. If we need to cut a bigger piece, we can do that. Let's see how this looks. I'm also going to cut this piece to 4 inches. Now, I didn't grab any embossing folders, but if I were going to be using plain cardstock, I would either consider stamping a pattern on it just for fun, or either embossing it, which would be nice. Okay. I'm going to cut this piece to 3, and I usually just eyeball it and change the pieces as I go. So let's take a look at this. I'm going to get my bone folder here. So what is everybody up to this weekend? Let me know whether you're live or in the replay. We are still having really nice weather here. I will say it has been raining, but I actually don't think that that's bad. I don't mind rain at all. I know it's not everybody's favorite, but I actually like it. I wish I had the ribbon because I would totally use the ribbon on this card. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to take this piece down to 2 1/2 also. And we'll just kind of do a split card. I just did this layout the other day. It's a simple layout, but it's so nice to work with. So let's go to 2 1/2. Sometimes when you work with a layout and it's fresh in your mind, you know, you kind of keep repeating it. And then this color, I'm trying to figure out what this other color is on here. I can't tell if that is copper clay. It looks a little bit dark to be copper clay. I don't know what you guys think. If you can see that, let me know what your thoughts are on that. But we could do just a piece of white in the center there and then maybe add a daisy. But I would do it in a similar size to this. I tend to use the 1/2 inch as a layer quite a bit. So let's just take a piece of this and we'll just do a 1/2 inch piece. And I want to have some basic white on hand for the daisy part. Hang on. Rule number 1, make sure you're solid on the table there. And then I'm going to cut this to 4. Okay. I could do a piece of copper clay and just see what that looks like, just to play with the pattern here. So I'm going to grab a piece of the copper clay. Okay. And I'll just trim a little bit right off the edge here. Let's see what this looks like. do 4. Okay. And we can check out what both of those colors look like. And just so that I'm not super crowding my table, I'm just going to move this off to the side and we can grab it back here in a minute. Now, another bundle that I considered using was Circle Sayings, but I decided to stick with daisies because I love that so many of the in colors are in this designer series paper. Okay, so let's just see if we can get our basic layout going here. Now, technically, you wouldn't even need the middle piece, right? Because you could just use that line. But I like to have the layer as long as you can get that lined up right. Okay, and so let's see. Here's what copper clay looks like. That's cute. I actually kind of like that. I like the way that that looks. And then let's see what the white looks like. Okay. So whether you're watching live or if you want to leave a comment in the replay, you can let me know which color you like better. So we have the basic white strip, and then we have the copper clay, the new copper clay strip. We can use either or, but in the meantime, we sort of have the starter going here for this. So let's go ahead and die cut just a couple pieces here. So one thing that I know I want to die cut, this piece is from the Cheerful Daisies Bundle, and we're going to use this for our sentiment. So I'm definitely going to cut out a piece of this. I think I'm going to cut this out in basic white. And then we're also going to cut some daisies. Now, if you look at the design on the paper, the daisies are white, and then this I'm not 80% sure, but that's my guess. So let's do that. I think what I'm going to do is go for the daisy trio here. So this kind of cuts like a really large piece. And then we could have some fun and we could just cut this leaf. We could cut this out in the wild wheat, or we could color it with the ink even if we wanted to, try to get some of the ink color on there. I could use my blending brushes for that. So why don't we give that a try and see what that looks like. I just happen to love this piece right here. So these are the two dies that I'm going to use for this card. Let's just see how this looks. And we'll cut this one as well. So I'm going to cut these two in basic white. And then this one, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a couple of pieces of this out in either the copper clay or the wild wheat. I'm tempted to do it in copper clay. So let's try that and see how these look. So I'm just going to grab my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. It's right around me somewhere. Always, right? Everything is around my chair, which you guys can't see. Okay. So let's do our basic white pieces first. I don't know if this piece is too thick to go through. Let's see. We're going to give this one a try. Yeah, it looks like it's going to fit through. So now one thing that I will say about the mini is for a larger die, especially if you're seeing a lot of metal here, I do prefer using the full size machine, but it's on the other side of my room. So I'm going to do my best to crank this one through the mini. I tend to like the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine for the smaller projects or the smaller pieces like this one. Okay. And again, we're not seeing nearly as much metal, just a little bit of an outline. So let's see how we do with this. Okay. Now, another tip that I learned from the Stampin' Up team is that you can make your plates look like an E. So we push this middle one back and the two here in the front are out a little bit further. And let's see how that looks. Let's see how that goes for us. And I'm going to try to hold on here, and I'm going to try not to shake my camera. So we're just going to take our time. All right, so here is the first. Let's see how this cut. The sentiment is perfect, and our daisies are perfect. Okay, so check this out. You can see all of the detail pieces that have cut out here. I'm seeing that slow turning wheel. Oh gosh. Hopefully you guys can see this okay. Let me see if I'm back. I'm so sorry that my computer is being slow. Okay, I think it's coming back to real time now. So here is this die cut daisy piece, and you can either cut this out into sections, but we're going to try to use the whole piece, but I do need to color some of this. So I'm not going to be too worried about poking out all of these little pieces. You absolutely could if you want to. I think it's fine. So I'm just going to leave that. And then let me just get rid of these little pieces here. And we're going to run through that little spray, which I think is just such a really super cute addition to the daisies. Okay. All right. And so that is this piece here. Here it is. Okay. So I'm going to cut this with copper clay. So let me get a piece of that cardstock. And I'm just going to trim some right off of here. Okay. And let me just get a sense of the size of the die. And we're going to cut a couple of them. All right. And then whenever you're cutting a die, just if you happen to be new to this, or maybe you haven't started using die cutting yet, the details, all of these little lines that you're seeing are going to be face down. So this smooth side of the die will be face up when you put it through your little machine like that. And then let me just get my topper. Okay. I wasn't anticipating using copper clay as an accent piece, but now I'm curious as to how it's going to look. The other color I could have done this in is Bubble Bath. That would have been gorgeous. All right, so here's one. Okay, so there's one. Let's do a couple more. I like to be able to put these around the daisy. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but I can hear them snoring. It's so funny. Oh gosh. Saturday afternoon naps. I was like, I'm totally sneaking in alive while they're resting. All right. So we have this piece here. And let me just get my scissors are right here, so I'm just going to use that to pop this out. But you could take your pick tool if you have it handy. Okay, isn't that cool? I absolutely love this. And while this wouldn't be the first color that I chose for this, because of the color combo that we have here on the Designer Series paper, I think it's going to be great. Hang on, I'm not doing that E. There we go. See the difference? That little E is such a good trick. Okay. All right, and just in case you missed me saying it the first time, because I know I was having some little slow internet problems, the Stampin' Up team had recommended that you have the middle plate in a little bit and then the top and bottom plate out so that it looked like the letter E. And I have really found that tip to be very helpful when using my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So thank you, Stampin' Up, for that. Okay. And then we're just going to pop this out. There we go. All right, so I think 3 of these is good. And it looks like on this particular spray, I had a little piece stuck in there. So just be gentle with that. Let me get that little piece out. Okay. Usually I'm really good about it, but that one I missed. Okay. All right, and so I think we have all of our die cut pieces that we're going to use for this particular card. So let me just go ahead and set this off to the side. I love this bundle, and I'm so sorry if you guys saw my face. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here's our card layout. Before I start gluing things down, I just like to kind of puzzle piece it together and see if I'm liking the way that things look. I was asking you guys, I don't see any comments, so that might be on my end or just depends because I can see that I'm having Wi-Fi issues. But if you happen to be here live and you want to leave a comment, I was asking, what do you think? Copper clay or basic white? I'm going to leave the basic white here. And then let's put our daisy down. We are going to color. Okay, now if I wanted to focus that on the bottom half, I could do that. I think I'm just going to kind of pop it up as like a little bit of an overlay right here. And we are going to add some color, but I would like to kind of put my sprays around and about. So let's put one there. We'll put one right here. And then another one, I think right here would be good. I just have to pop out this little extra detail. There we go. Okay, so I'm really loving that. I'm probably going to tuck this behind that little layer right there. Okay, and so I am going to add some color to these daisies and to the leaf with my blending brush and some of our new colors here. And then we will stamp our greeting. And we can pick which greeting we want. So let's say, I haven't had a chance to use Oops a Daisy, so sorry. But I could also do Wishing You the Brightest Birthday. So either or, but I think this one is so adorable. Let's do Oops a Daisy, so sorry. Okay. Uh-oh. Okay. Can you hear me okay? I think I might be echoing. Oh, geez. Okay, hang on one second, you guys. I'm telling you, this is what happens when you do a spontaneous live, right? Patricia says, yes, I'm echoing. Okay, thank you, Patricia. Hang on one second. Okay, that should fix it. So, Patricia, if you are still there, could you let me know if that sounds better? You don't have to comment unless you want to, but if you can let me know if that echo has stopped, I would really appreciate it. I'm going to keep going. We're going to keep it rolling. But yeah, just one of those things, right? But I do appreciate your patience. You guys are so sweet. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add some color here and I'm not going to leave again. So I'm just going to grab some scrap paper right here. I'm actually going to use the back side of what I was using This is my little chart for my in colors, but now that oh, it does. Thank you so much. Patricia is saying it sounds good. Excellent. In those headphones that I did have plugged into my phone were battery charged. So these are plug-in, so we should not have any other trouble with sound. Okay, so let me grab my small blending brush. Okay. And I'm just gonna, I have a very light coloring here, and I'm just gonna make sure that that's really not gonna affect our coloring. I don't think it is. So with the design of the designer series paper, I can see there's like a little bit of bubble bath, a little bit of copper clay. So what I'm gonna do is just use the copper clay. Not gonna make it exact, I'm just gonna make it close. So I'm gonna do just a dab in the corner here. Oh my gosh, I love new ink pads. It's so gorgeous. Okay, and then I'm just gonna dab off. Look, brand new ink, oh my goodness. And then I'm just gonna kind of take it right into the center here. Get that color going. Let's do that here. A little bit softer. You guys can decide the degree of softness that you would like for your daisies. And of course you could do this with your blends, Stampin' Write markers, whatever your preferred coloring method or mode is. I just want to get a little bit of darker color in the center on this one so that it matches. Just right on that edge. Okay. And so that's the first color. And then I'm going to take a little bit of wild wheat. So let's see if we can do the other colors in here. Okay. I'm still getting used to my setup. It's kind of a hot mess if I'm being completely honest. Okay. So this has a little bit of residual green on it. I'm going to try my best not to mix it. But if you see a hint of green with the wild wheat, you know why. Okay. And I do have mini sponge daubers too. They're just not here. I have those packed up. So you could use your mini sponge daubers. They come in a set of 5. Okay, so here's our wild wheat. And it's definitely pulling the green. But we're going to do our best. Improvising. And you can see even here too, this actual daisy, if you want to use your masking paper or a little piece of scrap paper, let me just use a little piece of scrap cardstock here, all the way to this point. These are leaves, so we can color a little bit more. And then I'm just going to lift this daisy. I'm going to lift this daisy up so that I don't get color on that. Okay, that's pretty good. All right. And then if you would want to put some bubble bath in there, I'd say go for it, right? And then if you want to poke out those little pieces, you could do that too. Now for Oops a Daisy, why don't we stamp in Moody Mauve? And this will be that May color, just so that you guys can see it in action. And let's get this sentiment piece here. I'm going to stamp it off first. Just because this is new. This is the first time I'm using this particular stamp. So let's just make sure we warm this up. All right, and we have our Oops a Daisy. And so that does look darker. It always dries down to the actual color, but when you first stamp it, it does look super dark. There's a little piece of white cardstock that I got on that ink pad. I'll get that off later. So let's put this over here. I'm going to put this on top so you guys can see Moody Mauve, since that's like our little focal color this month. And then let's go ahead and put this card together. All right. So much for being spontaneous. We tried. We did okay. Could have been better, but that's okay. All right. So I'm gonna put this piece down first. Goodness. All right. Let me get my multi-purpose glue. I've been using this like crazy. It's really been getting a workout. Okay. Yeah, so it's getting closer. I was actually thinking about doing like an actual countdown. I was going to see if I could find like a little counter, a counter post, and like literally start counting down to the catalog launch. I think that would have been so funny, but and fun, but I didn't. I didn't do that, but we're getting close. I mean, it's getting really close now. I cannot believe that we're in the end of April. I say it every month. I don't know why I'm continuously surprised, but I really am. So here's the wild wheat side. How hilarious is that? It's the same piece of paper. This was the original piece of paper that I was looking for, and I didn't even notice. Oh my goodness. Well, you guys got to look at the cardstock anyway. Okay. I'm just going to line that up. Kind of going for that 1/4 inch border there. And with your multi-purpose glue, you do have a minute before that dries. Okay. There are going to be a lot of great embossing folders. I think it's going to be fun to get some new patterns going. Okay. And if you get a chance, let me know what you think of these end colors in the comments. Let me know what you think of wild wheat. I didn't really know how I felt about it when I first started working with it, but I have to say, I really do like it. Okay, here. Moody Mauve is like my clear runaway favorite. And boho blue is pretty much the color in my dining room. I'll have to show you guys pictures of like my real life in color stuff. Okay, so I think I'm going to put the basic white piece down. So before I do that, I'm going to take a little bit of like just a little adhesive dot and just pop this down. This is from one of my paper pumpkin kits, but you could use your mini glue dots, whatever you have. So let me just pop one sort of right here-ish. And then I'm going to glue that little piece down, just hiding that little edge of that branch there. Okay. Even though I have worked with this bundle multiple times, I feel like I still haven't even scratched the surface with it. And then I'm going to stand up so that I do this straight, or as straight as possible. Okay, so we have this piece here. I'm going to pop this one up on dimensionals. Just going to warm up the new sheet here. All right, so if you still have all of your little pieces kind of popped in there, you can just put it right in the center. Nobody's really going to see it. All right, and we could pop these details out. I'm just going to leave it in. Now, this might be too big for that one. I think it might be. So let me use one of my minis for that. I just was using my minis on another project too. Hang on. They might already be out. Yeah, they are. Okay. I have dimensionals all over this house. Everywhere. Okay. And then I'm going to put another one on the back of these leaves just to give them something secure. And then just a couple of areas around my daisies. So how about right here instead of on the center? I think that will be safely hidden, but we'll check it out when we flip it over. Which way should I do this? Should I do it? I think I did it this way originally, and I think that's where I'm going to keep it. I am tempted to put these down first though, so just eyeballing it. Should I tuck them back here kind of? And just kind of tuck it right onto the dimensionals. Let's take a look and see if this makes sense. Yeah, I actually really like that. Let me flip this around. This one kind of goes up here, so I could do one this way, or I could do it over here. Let me do it right on the other side. What do we think of that? I think that looks really good. All right, so I'm going to plop this down, but remember, I still want to have a space for my sentiment. So let's go ahead, get those down in place. And the nice thing about it being on the dimensional is that it kind of secures everything. I still want these pieces to be up and loose, but if you want them completely flat to the card, consider using the adhesive sheets, or if you like to sponge the glue onto the back just because they're such thin, detailed pieces. All right, and then we're going to get our Oops-a-daisy here, and we're also going to use our dots today. So this will be the first time that I'm using the in color dots. So let me just pop this down. I can't believe that the wild wheat was the other side of the piece of DSP that we're using. That is so funny. And that's classic, that it would have the coordinating color right on the other side. Like, I should definitely know better. But isn't it just funny, the things that you miss? Okay, so here we go. And then here is the way that that color dries. Isn't that beautiful? I absolutely love Moody Mauve, you guys. And it's so funny because these are all new in colors: Copper Clay, Wild Wheat, and Moody Mauve. And I think that they work so well together. You guys will have to let me know what you think about that. Or if you like more, traditional daisy shades, where we're working with white and yellow and black and pops of green. That's okay. Whatever, you let me know what you prefer. But I think that this is gorgeous. Okay, we're going to do Oops-a-daisy right down here. And then let's get our in color dots. So the way that the in color dots would work for club is that I would cut these, so you can see there's like a very clear line here. So whenever you get Boho Blue Month, you would get those 30 dots. You would get Copper Clay dots for that month. In color club for May is going to have the mauve dots. And I don't know if you guys say mauve or mauve. I've heard it said both ways, but I always say mauve. And then of course, here's wild wheat. And you can see, just depending on the way that you're using your dots, they have a real shine to them. Like, they look lighter on one side than they do on the other. And that's the way that they look when you put them on the actual project too. So, and then of course, here's Pebble Path. I think these are gorgeous. Okay, so let's do, and we get 3 sizes: a large, a medium, and a small. So we're going to do a large right over here. Really nice little element of shine. I'm going to use one of each size. I'm just going to kind of pop this right in between the daisies. And then let's put the little baby over here. Should I do it? Yeah, let's do it right there. We'll give a little shine to this corner, since this corner has this going on. Okay, and so there is my spontaneous card that was supposed to be quick and took an hour because I talked too much and I had all kinds of technical issues. But that's the way that my lives go. Okay, so let me know if you guys are still here. Patricia says pretty card and layout. So this is pretty much an example of what you can expect for in color club cards. This isn't going to be an exact card, but it's going to be along these lines. Okay, so just if you're thinking like, what would that look like? So what that would look like is you would get these all these little cut pieces, and then you would use your new ink pad, you would use your new color pieces. You could use your new cardstock if you want to make extra cards, but you're going to get the pre-cut and scored card base in Moody Mauve. You're going to get the pre-cut DSP, the layers. You're going to get the pre-cut daisy. You would get all of that as part of your card kit, and then you would stamp. You would add your color, just like we added color to the daisies. This is for anybody who hasn't actually taken a class with me yet. So in color club is a little bit different in that I'm combining the two. Same with paper share. Within color club, it's included because I just thought it was absolutely necessary to really start using our new goodies. But for paper share, it's optional because you're getting 13 paper packs. You could use them throughout the whole year. You could use all of them right away, just depending on how you want to do it. But I do like to have that class option because I think it's so important to get inspired and to use those goodies when you can. Okay, so let me just come back to me. Okay. All right. So I just want to thank you guys so much for spending some time on this surprise, spontaneous live with me today. I know that it wasn't planned, but I do have so much fun when I can come on here and hang out with all of you. I do like to try to give as much of an accurate depiction as possible for people who maybe have never signed up for an event or for a class before of what that experience would be like. I know that some people, when they do classes, they interact live. For me, the classes are pre-recorded. I just think it's more convenient. If you could just watch it at your convenience, you don't have to be somewhere at a certain time. You can rewind, you can fast forward, you can make the cards along with me. You can pause when you need to. I just think that that's so helpful. And I know that many of you do that with these replays too. So, however you want to do that. But that's essentially what a class is like. And then if you're thinking, okay, well, I made the 4 card kits that she provided with the class, I would like to make 4 more. Or I really like this layout, but I think I'm going to tweak that layout. You would actually, if you're doing in color club, you would actually have that full pack of cardstock. So you could cut as many card bases as you wanted within that full card pack, right? If you're doing paper share, you would have that quarter pack of fresh as a daisy, and you could use whatever pieces you wanted from that quarter pack. You would at least get some of those in color, pieces and samples. Of course, you would be getting the in color DSP too. And I will be using some in color DSP for my class as well. So just something to keep in mind. But yeah, so that is it for me. Again, just one more time, I'll just kind of sum it up and then I will go. So if you are interested or if you need information from me on either the upcoming paper share or on the first month of In Color Club, which will be Moody Mauve, then you can email me and I'd be happy to send you those links. If you're on my email list, you already got the information, but I can send them to you. You can always ask me again if you can't find it. Don't worry about it. I also have information listed on my blog if you want to learn more, but the best way typically is to reach out to me and I can either get you the registration link or the flyer. Okay. And then here, let's see, just because I was having so much trouble with the share earlier. Let's see if I could share one more time. Okay. All right, so just one more time, this is the paper share. You would be getting 13 new designer series paper packs. It's 1/4 of the pack and it will be cut to 6x6 size. There is an add-on class available, but you don't have to take the class. If you want just the 13 quarter packs in 6x6 size, those samplers of the DSP, all 13 of them, but just the share, then it would be $60 and that includes shipping. If you want that add-on class, which is the 4 card kits, the exclusive video, the PDF tutorial, then you would pay $85 and that includes shipping. That's if you want the add-on class. The featured bundle is going to be Cheerful Daisies, which is the bundle that we just worked with today. So if you have any questions, let me know. The deadline to register is Monday, May 1st. All right, so that's that one. And then the other last piece is, one more time, I have to go to 2 different windows to share these, which is why I have to kind of go in and out. So here's In Color Club. Share. Okay. So for In Color Club, and hopefully you guys can see this. Yes, you can. Okay. So for In Color Club, like I said, first month is going to be Moody Mauve. That will be May. I'm going to be opening registration each month for the next 5 months. So each month it's going to be $65 if you want to do the share, but it includes the product listed and the class. And it also includes shipping. Okay. So if you guys have any questions about that, let me know. And then the deadline to register for In Color Club Moody Mauve is May 1st. And then I'm going to open up registration for Pebbled Path at the very end of May for June, and then so on and so forth. Copper Clay for July, boho blue for August, and then wild wheat for September. You could register for one, you could register for two. If you register for 3 in a row, you'll get a free pack of the designer series paper from me in your 3rd month box. And if you do all 5 months of In Color Club with me, you'll get a pack of the In Color Stampin' Write markers, 2023 to 2025, and that would be in your month 5 box. Okay, and that way that avoids breaking up all of those little pieces just in case you don't want all 5 colors. I think it helps everyone. I think it's just going to make it a little bit easier. And just as a reminder, let me just scroll down here and make sure that, yeah, this is working. Okay, so if you're wondering what are the products that you're getting each month in Color Club, for May, these are the products you're going to get in Moody Mauve. You would get the ink pad, the refill. You would get a full pack of that color cardstock. So the whole pack would be Moody Mauve. It's not the sampler colors. It's all Moody Mauve. The Stampin' Blends combo pack in Moody Mauve. The textured ribbon in Moody Mauve. You're going to get the full spool of ribbon. You're going to get 1 spool of the jute trim in Moody Mauve. You're going to get 30 of those in color dots that we just used. So you're going to get the mauve colors in that particular month kit. You're going to get the 4 card kits, which will be pre-cut, pre-scored, that video, and that PDF. So I know that this was a lot of information. And I'm sorry that I'm doing both at once, but with this particular catalog launch, because we're doing 5 months, I did want to kick this off because I know this catalog is going to be popular. I think we all do. We can't know exactly, but when we get a look at it, we can predict. And I was like, I have to get that order in the day of the launch so that we don't miss out on these goodies. So that's why I have it crammed. That's why my registration is half of the time it would normally be to register. And that's why I've been talking about it so much. But anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for spending time with me on your Saturday. Have a great rest of your weekend. If you have any questions along the way, leave me a comment, message me, email me, and I'd be happy to chat with you. All right. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.